After the release of the Black Ops 7 teaser trailer, a lot of people are left believing that Transit might be making its return. Now, I'm not here to speculate over the 3 seconds of footage we got, but instead, I want to tell you why this is probably a bad idea if it does actually end up being true. Transit was the first map to come out with the release of Black Ops 2 in 2012. The initial response was met with a lot of excitement over things like the bus, the craftables, and the overall look of the map. But that excitement very quickly died down. People quickly became annoyed with things like the fog, since you can't see like 10 feet in front of you, not being able to travel on foot, and the pack-a-punch. This has led to Transit being known as one of the worst zombies maps we have ever seen. Transit starts off in 2035 in Hanford, Washington, in the area of Green Run. The map is made up of 5 different locations: bus depot, diner, farm, power station, and town. This is all happening 10 years after the events of the Moon Easter egg, where Maxis launches 3 missiles towards the Earth, causing all of the lava in the fog that Transit is known for. From what we know so far of Black Ops 7, it is set in 2035, which is the same year as Transit. If we do end up seeing it again, I'm assuming it would be the same exact thing, just remastered, but again, we don't even really know anything. All of the locations are connected by a bus route, driven by Ted. This was the first time we had ever seen a transportation system in a zombies map, and I think it was done very poorly. Later on, after the game's release, we end up seeing other maps like Mob of the Dead and Origins, which have their own respective transportations, and those are done so much better compared to Transit. The closest thing we've ever got to that is the lander on Extension, but even then it wasn't really a whole lot since the map wasn't very big, and it was mostly for the rocket and unlocking the pack-a-punch. The main issue that people have with the bus is that it's slow, unreliable, and it will totally leave you behind if you aren't fast enough. Not to mention that people inside the bus can just close the doors as you're trying to get on whenever the bus is leaving. But that's not really a fault of the bus, that's just people being an asshole.
I'm not gonna play.
You don't really have any other way of getting around the map on foot without the help of something like Jug or using the teleporter, but even then that just doesn't really make up for the fact that the bus just sucks. To even get to Jug or use the teleporter, you still have to be pretty far into the game. Now back to the bus. It will kind of leave whenever it wants, or it will take a long time to leave. Sometimes you can trigger Ted to shut the doors and actually drive off, but that's not really guaranteed. A good example of what I'm talking about is the power station. You show up to the power station, you spend a couple minutes gathering all the parts for the power, and by the time you actually get to turn the power on, the bus is already honking, and by the time you actually get out there, it is long gone. And not to mention, power station is probably the worst spot to be stuck at. There's really nowhere to run around outside, you have a crappy wall by, and being stuck underneath also sucks. Now, I can't really give the bus too much hate. I mean, it was the first time we had actually seen something like this, and overall, like, it was cool, but they could have done a much better job with it. Now, the main complaint that people have is the pack-a-punch. The process to even getting the power on is kind of hard in itself, but then you have to go a whole other way just to get the pack-a-punch open. You have to craft the turbine, set that down in a specific spot, then you have to go to town, throw an EMP grenade, and hope that a zombie hasn't destroyed the turbine. Otherwise, you gotta go all the way back, do it again. And even then, you still have to do it again if you want to pack a bunch of more guns, because after a certain amount of time, the pack-a-punch closes. And trying to do it by yourself is also really hard too, and overall, this map is just not solo friendly. Now, I'm not trying to say that having a challenge to opening up Pack-a-Punch is the problem. The way they do it in Transit is just a little much. Like if you compare it to Origins, you have to turn all 6 generators on, and after some time, the zombies from the crazy place can come and destroy it, but it is just a kind of straightforward process, really nothing difficult, and you can absolutely do it while playing solo. Same with Mob of the Dead. You build the plane, you take it, go to the bridge, and boom, you can Pack-a-Punch. And yeah, the warden spawns like every round, and sometimes it's like 4 wardens, but it's still so much better than Transit somehow. Now, there's a lot more things I could talk about, but the last big one I want to mention is the Easter egg. To even get started with the Easter egg, you have to build the Pack-a-Punch and the jet gun. And I mean, before we even get into the Easter egg, the jet gun is probably the worst wonder weapon we have seen in Call of Duty. The parts are all scattered around the map, some of them are in the fog, and it breaks. why do we have a wonder weapon that breaks? We have things like the paralyzer, the wonder waffle, ray gun, but this crappy jet gun that doesn't even do a whole lot of damage can break. Now back to the actual Easter egg. You get the jet gun, and then you do like a couple more steps, like three different things, and then that's it. It's so underwhelming. It's a waste of time, and setting up the Easter egg takes longer than actually finishing it. Now, I will say there's technically two Easter eggs to it. There's the Richtofen side and the Maxis side, but again, they're both practically the same things. You just kill Avogadro, the shitty boss, and that's it. I mean, like, obviously that's not it, but you get what I mean. It's underwhelming. It just doesn't make sense. There's nothing to it. And even with the boss Avogadro, he also has a random chance to spawn. There's nothing you can really do. I mean, you turn the power on and it has to be like at least round 10. But after that, you just have to wait. That's it. Now, since Black Ops 7 is going to be taking place at the exact same time, we have no idea if it'll be a full remaster, if anything will be different. I would hope that it would be a little different. I think there's a lot they could do to fix it and make it actually enjoyable and, more casual friendly. Then it might be a good map. Who knows? But again, we don't really know much. We don't even know if it's coming or not. I kind of hope not. I mean, they would really have to change a lot for it to be a good map. But if they change too much, people are going to be upset. But if they don't change it at all, people are still going to be upset. There's really no pleasing anyone when it comes to Call of Duty, so I think it's better that they just kind of let that map die off. But yeah, I don't like Transit if you can't tell, and I hope they don't bring it back, personally.